Okay, so here we are with part 4 of my series with the Outlaws versus the Shock, seeing how the Outlaws were able to pull off this victory. So at this point, this is the 4th map with the Temple of Anubis. The Outlaws are up 2-0 with 1 draw on Blizzard World. So we are going to see how these two teams approach this new map. So for the most part, we have been seeing rush mirrors, except for Dorado. We saw some more dive coming in, but I imagine, yeah, we'll likely see the rush mirrors come back out here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So, okay, so the Outlaws, instead of the McCree, are going to be running the Hanzo. So interesting pick here. So they did manage to have some success with the Hanzo from on Blizzard World when they were attacking. So you're going to look to set up on a high ground somewhere, a bit of an off angle from the rest of the team, and try and get some kills. But yeah, there you see Happy just kind of standing up there. Trihyoben gets frozen early, but nothing really comes from it. Oh, and Happy just gets a kill on to Violet. Not even from a strange angle or anything, just not paying attention. A guy Happy kills Striker as well. He's just free firing now. Kills FD God as well. My God. Okay, alright, so definitely have to watch that one back. Happy just casually getting a 6K here. Casually getting a 6K. Alright. Ooh, that's... You hate to see that. You hate to see that if you're the Shock. Oh, very nice. Very nice headshot. It's FD God once. Finishes him off. Gets Dante as he drops down. Storm into super. And please tell me they let him get the kill on this guy. Thank God. Okay. Happy is a beast. Oh man, he is an absolute beast. So he's been a very, very major part of what has been making this Outlaws team so good. I was definitely one of the people that was very skeptical about this Outlaws team coming into this season. But Happy was definitely not one of the reasons. He was with Happy on the team, I always felt like, this is a team that would be able to at least be dangerous in any matchup. But yeah, obviously this whole team has come together quite nicely so far. So, at this point, so they're just going to run it down main, and that Dragon Strike does a good job of kind of splitting off the supports from the rest of the team. Okay, now we're going to see the Violet. Oh my God. Okay, so this is crazy how they're just able to open up these fights. So this is Juby. I believe he's just cleaning up a kill onto FD God. It looks like he got hit by something else, right? I think FD God goes low, yeah, and then Juby just gets the last. So I think Happy hit him with an arrow there, and then Juby just cleans up, and then ooh, beautiful block from Jongri there onto Super Shatter. So yeah, I mean, once you've lost 2 like that early on, you're in a bad way if you're the Shock. This is shaping up to be an extremely fast capture. Yeah, so Shock just looking to delay as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, this is just all cleanup. I mean, there's not really much to talk about here. The Shock did their best to try and come back into it, but I mean, there's just too much momentum on the Outlaws side. So, very, very strong attack from the Outlaws, and I mean, honestly, off the back of Happy, like I mean, first of all, he gets just the 6K on the attack, on the opening fight on first point, and then here he gets FD God low with Juby just being able to finish it off, and then he, I believe, kills Striker afterwards, which with 2 down, I mean, tough luck there. So interesting to see how they play this on the defense. Okay, so it looks like the Outlaws have opted into a double bubble here.
Ready for battle.
This is a bit of a strange one to play, I'd say, especially against the rush. So you're gonna be looking to
5, 4, 3,
yeah, you're gonna have to look for getting as many
incoming.
like leaps in as possible, or just like as many places where you can drop down onto the shock to get a bunch of cleave damage and then leap out as possible, so that it can build up that primal rage. So here he's a little slow. He's not get yeah, so he doesn't get anything off of that first engage. So yeah, that's kind of like what I was talking about. Like so, yeah, you want to be able to like cleave them like as they filter in through here, then cleave them again as they run up through here. And then, you know, potentially once they're like, you know, either coming up on like this high ground, you know, you just leap up and, you know, get another cleave. And by that time you should be relatively close to your primal, but instead he's not really done anything. The shock will rotate up here to the high ground, force Crimzo back with the rest of his team. So shock have none of that high ground control anymore. Okay, the shock are just going to rush in there. Okay, so this is actually a very nice move from the shock. I really like how they played that. Ultimately, get some big trades back. Okay, so I guess I'll go back to the beginning of that fight. So what the shock did here was they realized that their win condition is to get into a close range fight with the Outlaws here. So first of all, they come up here, they force Crimzo off of his perch, force him to come back with his team. And then at this point, you know, they say, okay, so now we just need to walk across this bridge and yeah, just basically run at them until we can have this like close range fight in here. And the only problem there is that, you know, they Happy is you know, on the Ash, so they're going to be able to do a lot more poke damage than the shock are. So they end up dropping the wall right here, which then forces them all back into this room where the shock have a massive advantage. And I believe I saw a big Bionade come out from Crimzo. Yeah, so Jongu comes in to protect. Yeah, big Bionade hits 3. And then, okay, Dante comes in with the focusing beam, but does get traded out. But honestly, yeah, I mean, any trades that are coming here is good for the shock because they have the better respawns. And oh, this is a bad spot for the Outlaws now. Yeah, so they. Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't watch like too heavily on how they rotated out of that position, but they ended up, you know, sitting right here, which is probably the worst place where you want to end up rotating to, because then you're going to be caught in the middle of whatever shock players are still here and whichever ones are coming straight out of spawn. So you'd have liked to have like see them rotate to the point, but it honestly may have been that. Yeah, I mean, I guess if they had to rotate back out through this room, then there was not really any other option. All right, so. Yeah, overall, not a big fan of this this Winston pick so far for the Outlaws. And so yeah, there's that idea of, you know, cleaving as they are going through the various chokes. But yeah, at this point, Jongu's just now hitting his primal.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Oh. Okay, so there's a lot of things I didn't like right there. So first of all, I had mentioned this in one of the previous videos. Window and Deadeye kind of serve the same purpose in these compositions. You're mostly using them to create space. So you're using them to just kind of force the Outlaws off the point. So it kind of ends up being a similar situation when you use these at the same time as when you layer like a Transcendence and a beat. The stack doesn't really give you much of an effect. Like sure, maybe with the Deadeye you can ramp it up very quick and get a quick kill, but most likely you're just going to be zoning and you're not really getting any extra value. So I would prefer to see, you know, either the Window or the Deadeye get dropped first, and then once the shock have back, or once Outlaws have backed off and the first ultimate's winding down, you then pop the second to really keep them off the point And then the other thing is just this tragic play from Dante, who I assume was going to try and copy the Rhine, but gets the McCree instead. I mean, hate to see that. And that's actually a pretty massive first death. And so yeah, then they managed to go split off the rest of some of these other players. Like someone gets stuck in this small room back here on the side. Yeah, Jongu gets stuck. Oh, and he gets caught by the shatter. So nice play from some super. Okay, I mean this grab is too late. It's not doing anything, especially with the beat coming to counter out. I mean, yeah, even this rally is not going to do anything. Huge wall from Nero to be able to block off that Bob. That was very well done. That would have given the Outlaws a much better chance to try and re-engage here. You know, especially with Jongu coming back in with the Primal Rage. So they played that super well. The Shock did. And yeah, that wall was huge. That wall was absolutely huge. And yeah, once again we see extremely similar time banks on Blizzard World. You saw them finishing within a second from each other. Now it's within 10 seconds from each other. So both very very effective on these attacks.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
5, 4.
Okay, so Outlaws on defense. Okay, so they've learned from their mistakes to say, okay, screw that. We are going back to the rush comp, but they are going to stick with Happy on the Hanzo. I'm not sure how much I like him on the defense here. I mean, if anyone's going to prove me wrong, it's going to be Happy, but I think he works very well on the attack because your team can just sit here and wait while Happy gets a pick. But if the Shock decide to engage, they're going to end up being at an advantage because McCree is just a better brawler. You know, that's the reason why he usually gets played in these comps. So I think playing the Hanzo on the defense is pretty risky here. But I'll be interested to see how that works out. Okay, so they're just... Okay, Nero sets up a very nice wall. Hyobin was able to just do a bunch of damage to Jongu, which just really forces them all out. So yeah, Jongu just gets forced back into that corner, and then... Yeah, so we'll immediately see this wall come out. And Choyobin just gets boosts up onto Jongu's head. So Jongu goes super low. Yeah, that lamp from Crimzo was also a bit too deep. Doesn't really get the value you would like from it. And yeah, I mean with the dominoes just kind of evolved from there. So yeah, those a very nice engage from the Shock, and that's kind of what I was alluding to with the Shock just have the better brawl comp here. So they say, all right, we're just going to drop the wall right here, and we're just all going to rush onto the Rhine. You know, this is why you play this composition. And, you know, the rest of the Outlaws are kind of stuck out here and then coming into the weird angle trying to shoot in from the wall. So, overall, I would like to have seen the Outlaws play a bit more together and really lean into the strength of that brawl comp. So yeah, Shock just going to go this standard rotation to that left side and coming up through this side room. So let's take a look at the ult. So really it's just Violet and Super who have something up, though Crimzo is quite close to his. So yeah, going to be looking for potentially a big value shatter. The window, of course, just gets immediately walled off. Nero gets a pretty nice wall, cutting off the Rhine there. But Outlaws are able to... I was about to say Outlaws are able to survive it, but that... yeah, so that shatter was massive from Super. So this is sort of the situation that happened a lot on the control maps, was was the shock windowing first, and then Crimzo, once the shock window had gone down, he would pop his own, and they would re-engage off the back of that. But here, Jongu is already super low and not really in a position to try and block the shatter. So Super is able to just completely negate the effects of this window, and yeah, with Crimzo gone, the rest of those Outlaw players aren't gonna get healed up. I'm sorry, what? Violet just dies? Okay, Violet just feeling suicidal, just jumps into the dragon. I'm gonna say, okay, and then Happy with the hero play killing Striker. Yeah, I mean at this point, you know, the ultimates are going in the favor of the shock, but it's just been too long. The respawns are coming back out from the Outlaws. So, I mean, honestly, Violet just kind of really screwed the shock there. That was a very big misplay. A very unforced error, just jumping into the dragons like that. And now at this point, I mean, yeah, 10 seconds left. So with this composition especially, you're going to have a tough time getting to the point. And especially getting to the point into a manner where you feel confident in what you can fight. Yeah, great wall from Dante there. That was a nice idea for the Blizzard, but ultimately gets eaten. Jongu going down. Okay, so they trade main tanks, which is obviously... Happy is just such a hero. Okay, just gets a nice little 3k there at the end of 4k. My god, Happy just hard carried this so far. I mean, without him, that's getting double capped for sure. Happy makes some big plays there. Yeah, because Jongu goes down first, and if they don't immediately trade back onto, if they don't immediately get the trade back with Super, then that's pretty much probably going to be game over for them. At least as far as defending that second point. They obviously still have their own attack here. So, interesting if they stick with this Hanzo again. It looks like they will.
Ready for battle.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend.
Yeah, so here I'll be interested to see. I imagine if you're the shock, you know, you just got rolled by Happy last time. You can't let him do that again. You feel like you have to play this differently. I think you got to go for like you just like rush onto them and don't let them just get this poke. Yeah, yes, you do exactly this. You do exactly this. So you just run in there. You have the advantage. You've got McCree. They've got Hanzo. You want to take these close quarter fights. Very well played. I do manage to get the pick onto FD God, but I mean that's so late into the fight, and I mean I guess late would probably be better, but it's on FD God who is going to be back into this fight immediately. So yeah, I really like how the shock played that. So, all right, we're not going to let Happy just stand up there and free fire, so they just immediately rush in. So we have the better composition for the fight in this room, so we're going to take it here. I imagine they'll go for this again. Right? Yeah, oh, nice flashbang. They're a little bit more ready for it. This time the Outlaws are. You see Dante gets a very nice wall there. And you see that window getting dropped. And now, yes, exactly what I was about to say. The window got dropped for Violet, so now that the Outlaws have dealt with that aggression, they're now going to move back in with their own window. Wall comes up. Violet dies again first. My god. So, this is crazy. Okay, so this is a very interesting trade of ultimates. So, you see Violet going down. So FD God then immediately drops his beat. You say, okay, if we want to hold on to this fight, we need to go in hard, and we got to go now. We got to try and get a pick. So we're going to see Violet go down here. FD God immediately beats. And then Juby counter beats, I believe. Yeah, Juby counter beats. And then you get Blizzard and Dragons. So my initial reaction is I don't know about investing that ultimate. You have time on point on second. So I would much rather see them just hold on to that beat and wait. But the fact that they have now traded out, they traded beat for beat, but then also managed to get the double support, not double support, the double DPS ultimates out from the Outlaws is pretty massive. Because what, they're gonna have like 30 seconds here to get to B. Yeah, so they got 30 seconds now, and yeah, they don't really have any way of creating space on the point other than just physically running forward. So you would have loved to have had that Blizzard or that Dragon Strike really just to be able to give yourself the opportunity to push onto this point a little bit less uncontested. Okay, so immediately that wall to cut them off. Great Blizzard from Nero. So he doesn't catch anyone in it, or actually, he may have caught someone in it, but yeah, basically you drop it just like right on this path because that prevents pretty much everyone from being able to walk onto the point. So yeah, Jongu has to drop down. He ends up getting killed here. Yeah, frozen just on the edge of that. Yeah, and at this point, yeah, it's just too late. Happy still managed to get a kill doing superhero shit, but at this point, you've just lost way too many people. Yeah, you can't get back on the point. So, yeah, well played from the Shock. Yeah, so ultimately, I think part of the big difference there was just how the Shock managed to adapt. So on the initial attack, you know, Happy just sits on the top, free fires, and gets a 6K. The Shock realized, okay, we can't let that happen. How, what's our win condition here? And it's just, brawl. That's what the comp was made to do. If you're going to take the Hanzo out of the comp to get more poke and less brawl, then we're just going to actually force you to brawl. So that was a very nice adaptation. And then the other big thing at the end was, I believe, the Outlaws just over-investing in that last fight after FD God uses his beat. I think using after the one beat, using their own beat, then finishing up with a Blizzard and a Dragons was just a little bit too heavy of an investment, and just at the end they just didn't have the tools necessary to take that last point. But yeah, very well played. Yeah, so after this, so that was map 4. Next we'll go up to map number 5, which is Oasis, and yeah, I'll be doing that one here shortly as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or comments or critiques, I'll happily take them. As I've been saying, I'm still very, very new to making these videos, so any advice you can give would be very greatly appreciated. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.